Hello, my name is Michael Heitman, and this is my assignment for the capstone course in talking about resumes and cover letters. Probably unlike some of the students in this program, I have a little more robust career experience, I guess, at this point, and that I've been in IT for well over 20 years and have a vast array of experience and stuff. So I've written numerous resumes and cover letters and been through many interviews, and I've been on the other side as a manager and gone through interviews and resumes and cover letters and selected people based off of these things. So, but I think this is a great assignment for anyone to have. So I've chosen 5 resources here that I think are helpful. 3 of them pertain to resumes, and 2 of them pertain to cover letters. So let's take a look at the first one here. The first one is from a site called Resume Builder, and it's entitled How to Write a Resume 18 Tips and Tricks from a Pro Resume Writer. Now, you have to understand that resumes and cover letters, everybody has their own certain style. But as you look at a lot of different resources, you start to see trends and things in common where you start to see certain ideas and concepts repeated. And you see some of that here as you take a look at this. Al Palumbo is the gentleman who wrote this resource, and I think it's a good one because it kind of uses a question and answer format. So, it asks questions like, is there a best resume format? And it gives you some examples when you might use various formats. Is there a best font to use in a resume? Can you recommend some good examples? Those things are going to be dictated on your experience, your industry, your career path that you're looking to go through. Looking at headers, making good statements, and it gets down into how much experience you include. So for me, start with a person for more than 10 years of experience. This is a good element to look at here. So his recommendation is to not go back more than 10 years. And I say that, something like that, but it depends. My previous position, I was at that one company for nearly 10 years. So my resume goes back a little bit more than that so that I can show a variety of experiences that I have. But again, you have to put some of these things, adapt them to your situation. His opinion on resume services, just some great tools and resources here. Another one here is actually from an article I found from CNBC, and it talks about these are things to remove. So I like to see things that you add, but also see some things that you want to omit or remove from a resume. And this is based on feedback from someone who reviews thousands of resumes a year. So, they're looking at things like, hobbies and interests. Unless they're relevant to the position you're applying for, may not be something you want to have on there. You want to have some soft skills, but you need hard skills too. So make sure you have a good balance of that. Your professional headshot, you don't really need on there. Don't use personal pronouns. Obviously, look at the email address that you're using. Make sure it's business and appropriate. Sometimes you may not want your mailing address on there. Again, job positions older than 10 to 15 years. That was an important piece for me to review. Now, this is perhaps the best of the resume resources that I really appreciated and enjoyed. It's from Drexel University, and this gentleman, John Carvana, let's see if just a snippet of this here. But it's a great video.
Today's job search process is
There's
often
Mr.
jokingly
Kavada.
compared to speed dating,
And,
and no wonder.
you know, I think that
According to a recent study,
his video is fantastic. It's about 5 minutes long. I would encourage anyone who's looking at a resume. It's a great, succinct, just hits the highlights of what you should do for an effective resume. And I think a lot of the information there is very good. So obviously, along with the resume is having a cover letter. So cover letters are very, very important. This one is from a site called Zeddy.com. And in this one, it really gives you a format that you can use. You don't have to use this exact format. I don't use quite this format here. I think there's different ways you can format, but it's a great example if you've never done a cover letter before. I think it's some great resources. But they tell you some information that you want to put in here on your cover letter. Obviously your personal information, your contact information. You want to have a good greeting. You know, they hit some great highlights in here. You know, write a catchy opening paragraph. But obviously, and I love how they give you some wrong examples as well. You know, like, in response to your posting, don't start out that way. You gotta understand the people reading these read hundreds, if not thousands, of these resumes. So I think it's very important there. You know, but obviously highlighting you and your skills and why you're a great fit. Make sure you line this cover letter up with the job posting that you're applying for. And then finally, another one here, again, I kind of like the opposite take of, you know, here's what to say in a cover letter when you're not totally qualified. So, you know, if you're like me, you look at a lot of job postings out there and you see, you feel like nobody could meet those qualifications because they're shooting for the moon. And so, you know, be honest. And, you know, I love these 5 points they put. Analyze your expectations. Focus on relevancy first. Pull out key accomplishments that you have in your career, whether it's academics or your business career. Demonstrate your interest. You know, let your passion shine through there, which I think is really important. And finish strong. You know, how you end, you know, that's the last thing that they may read about you initially. So, you know, I think these are great resources. Of course, there's hundreds and thousands of resources out there, but these are a few to highlight here. This one's from ZipRecruiter, which is, you know, a great website for job postings, but also having some helpful hints here. So these are some tools that I've used to help craft my resume and cover letter, and I hope that they are beneficial to others as well.